One thing real quickly, what if somebody has like assets in another state? Let's say they live here, but they have a vacation home in Washington, Seattle area or something. Uh, they don't need to seek an estate planning attorney or draft different documents that are for assets in different states, right?
Correct. Yeah. So a Hawaii trust, your plan here can own assets in other places. And if you think about it too, like if you have like a Wells Fargo account or a why is that the one I thought of? Bank of America, Citi,
Right.
anything like that, that's not a Hawaii asset,
Mhm.
and that can be associated with your trust. So yeah, it's something that your trust can control assets in other states. You don't have to set up two trusts. You do have to transfer the property into the trust. You
Mm.
can't just say, oh, and by the way, in addition to all this Hawaii stuff, I have a house in Washington and I want that to go to XYZ when I pass away. If the Washington house isn't owned by the trust, it's not going to work. So
Mm.
sometimes an attorney in Washington is necessary just for the deed to transfer
See.
the property into the trust.
Mm. Okay. And do you do I'm just curious, do you do some of that like the deed entitling work for people as well? Like once they want to transfer the assets?
Yeah, so typically for clients, yeah, once we that's like the I don't help them with, and I think a lot of attorneys, it's like we can't go to the bank for you and put your bank accounts in, but we
Mm.
can do deeds that transfer title into your trust. I do that for my clients for their Hawaii properties.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's see. I wanted to touch on common mistakes,
Mhm.
misconceptions, but we kind of went over a lot of that stuff already. We talked about the DUI planning tools. Um, how often should somebody review or update? Do you have a time frame that you recommend? I know it's kind of arbitrary and it's
It
kind
is arbitrary. Yeah, yeah. I tell people definitely any big life events,
of
kids start to get married, kids start to have kids, kids graduate college, for the younger families who are planning, you want to make sure when milestones are hit, and it's not necessarily that you're going to change the document. I also tell folks that I don't charge my clients who maybe I've worked on their plan 10 years ago and they call me up and they say, "Hey, can we just take a look at it and make sure it still works for what we need?" Sure. I don't charge for that review and like, okay, well, these are the people that we have in charge. Are they still around? Are they still who you want to do it? Um, Sometimes the change is, okay, well, we set this up when our kids were 10. Our kids are now graduating college and one's super responsible and we know that she could handle it. So we want to name her, we want to change the trust to put her in charge. So those kinds of milestones, I tell people 5 years, 3 to 5 years, just take a look at it. Put a note in your phone. Think of the age you'd be when that time comes, and be like, oh, on my 45th birthday, I better remember to bust out the trust and take a look.
hmm
Again, it doesn't mean you're going to change it, and it may not even be that you need to work with an attorney again. You just look at it, read it. You know the parts that you're going to be focusing on for as it pertains to your plan, and just make sure it's all still what you think it is, and will still work. Laws change, tax laws change,
hmm
administrations change, and change laws. So
Right, right,
all the
right.
things can happen that could affect what your plan was. Reach out to the state planning attorney just to check in. Hey, nothing's going on in my life that's changed. Any law changes that I should be aware of that might affect me? Most attorneys will be reasonable with responding to that, and not charging you to do so.
Mm.
The opinions and statements presented on this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Never make any investment or financial decisions based on information offered on this show without first consulting your financial, legal, or tax advisor. All economic and performance information mentioned on the show is historical in nature and is not indicative of any future results. All indices mentioned on this show are unmanaged and cannot be invested in directly. All information is believed to be from reliable sources. However, we make no representation as to its completeness or accuracy. Lastly, all opinions expressed by Jason Cutitta and any guests on the show are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of or are endorsed by ToBA Financial. For Jason Cutitta, investment advisory services are offered through ToBA Financial LLC, a registered investment advisor offering advisory services in the state of Hawaii and in other jurisdictions where exempt from registration.